What's good, you guys? Your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to all my subscribers out there, man. Summer's finally gonna come to an end, and we're heading transitioning to fall and into the winter, you guys. So strap yourselves up, guys. It's gonna be real crazy up in here. But besides the NFL season starting as well, we're also gonna include the Basketball Hall of Fame that's gonna happen this weekend as well, and some big news that came out of this too, according to the Athletic, that all members of the Fab Five, which includes Juwan Howard, Jimmy King, Ray Jackson, and Jalen Rose, they will be in attendance for Chris Webber's induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I just wanted to, give my thoughts about the whole, situation. Um, I'm happy that these guys are finally reuniting together. And it's been a pretty much a long time since all five of these guys have ever, been together in any public setting. Back, in 2013 when Michigan made the national championship game, all five guys were in the same building, but because Chris Webber still had his ban against the school, he wasn't able to, reunite with his guys. So he had to watch the game, in a private suite. And so there's been a lot of things that have had yet to be uncovered between all the guys, that played in Michigan. But I'm just glad to see that they're finally reuniting together. Because here's the thing about the Fab Five that people, don't don't talk about this enough. All five of these guys played a huge cultural role in college basketball. What I mean by that is that not only besides the baggy shorts, the black socks and the black shoes or whatever, that's a given thing. But the fact that all five freshmen started, not at the start of the season, but gradually as the season progressed in 91, 92, you know, all five guys as freshmen playing together in Division 1 college basketball. That's something that was never seen back then, especially in the early 90s when the majority of the time, mostly juniors and seniors would be the best players on your team. Even sometimes a bit of a sophomores too, or maybe one freshman. But all five freshmen on one team was something that's never seen before, and you know what I mean. And it began the revolution of more college programs, allowing young freshman players to start on varsity sports, especially at the Division 1 level. And the fact that not only that they performed well together, but they made two straight trips to the national championship game is an accomplishment in of itself. You know what I mean? Losing to Duke obviously wasn't really good. And then I'm going to say the 93 thing later, but I just wanted to point out that fact. But you know, I'm glad that Chris Webber is getting the recognition that he finally gets, after waiting, what, 6 to 7 years, waiting on the ballot for his name to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? He should have been in at least third ballot, but better late than never, as I say. But, for Chris Webber, who was one of the most versatile big men you could ever find in the NBA, his skill set, I'm going to tell you straight up, his skill set today would be tailor made for the NBA because of the ability to to pass the ball, play make, out of the forward position, great ball handling skills, very good mid range shooter. You know what I mean? And his ability to play in the post made him one of the most unique and most versatile big guys you ever find in the NBA. And the fact that he was able to carry that Sacramento team to great heights that they've never seen before and probably will never see again is a testament of how great Chris Webber was. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate that he ran into great teams like the Lakers and the Spurs and the Mavericks during that time because they would have won a championship in 2002, guaranteed. But I think that loss in that conference final, was one of the big reasons why it knocked his career back a little bit and didn't give him much of favorites. But I wanted to, give my, 2 cents about the 93 title game. You know, it was obviously in the national championship game against North Carolina, a team that they were clearly better than. And, Chris Webber made the infamous mistake of dribbling the ball towards the Michigan bench and called the timeout when they had no timeouts left. The fact that he was able to, go to the press conference and pretty much stood in front of those media people and pretty much took the blame of it in of itself as a young 19-year-old. You know, I I can't commend him enough by being a man and just taking the heat of it because he knew he could have put the blame on somebody else, but he didn't do that. He stood up as a man, took the blame, and pretty much own up to it. And I cannot stress that enough. If he decided, to blame others for that makes one mistake, that's going to be with him for the rest of his life. Now, yeah, the worst part was that they didn't win the game and didn't win the national championship. And that was one of the big reasons why it haunted him for years. But I'm glad to see that Weber, was able to, shake that off, and keep moving with his career because, not one bad play is not going to define an entire career. So let's pause on that one. So, but one of the big reasons why he wasn't, wasn't in the Hall of Fame for that many years is because of the stuff of the Michigan scandal. Accepting money from a booster during his time in Michigan. And I know there were a lot of critics out there that pretty much said that, you took money off of, boosters, man. He should not be allowed in the Hall of Fame. Well, let me clap back at this. And I already did this, and I already clapped back at this, especially when Lamont Lane, pretty much was criticizing the fact that why did Chris Webber should have been in the Hall of Fame. Let's make one thing clear, okay? The problem with that argument is that if you're going to say that about Weber, you have to say it about a number of athletes that pretty much accepted money from different boosters, from different people, and from alumni. You know what I'm saying? From these various college programs, and pretty much it's been done all the time in college football and basketball before the NCAA changed the rules about the likeness issue. Okay, that whole scandal never made any sense because most of these college programs, the top ones, were pretty much doing it back then. All right. It wasn't much of a secret. It's only a matter of do you get caught with it? You know what I'm saying? So I really do believe that the records that Michigan and also the NCAA vacated, they need to reinstate those records because that scandal in of itself made zero sense and it benefited nobody. In fact, it just made the NCAA much more worse. It made them much more than corporate greedy bastards. So that just is what it is on that. So the end of the day, man, I'm glad to see that all these guys are going to reunite together. You know what I mean? And for this part right here, I hope that Jalen Rose and Chris Webber can just sit down, either publicly or privately, however they want to do it, and just hash out their issues and put their whole feud to bed. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, the induction tomorrow would be the first step of reconciliation, between those two guys, but also for Michigan and for Chris Webber too. So, but I hope that they do it before it's too late. Shaq and Kobe were able to do it before Kobe passed away, and Isaiah and Magic were able to do it. Despite of how many years that they had beef with one another. Just with all the stuff that Isaiah was doing to Magic Johnson, especially spreading the rumors about his HIV stuff. But you know, if they wanted to do it, publicly or privately, that's on them. But Jalen Rose has said, a lot of slick and derogatory stuff, about Chris Webber. It really just made you shake your head, like, bro, you don't really need to say that, bro. You really don't. And so I hope that they can find a way to, really, put their beef to bed and just move on, just move forward with their respective careers in television. So, but it is what it is, though, man. But I'm glad to see that all these guys are going to reunite together, in the Hall of Fame, and hopefully that it can be a start of a reconciliation period between, Weber and Rose. I mean, and hope that this reunion can keep the guys, linked together for a little while, and also that the university can finally accept Weber back, you know, as he should have for being one of the greatest, basketball players in the program's history. And more importantly, I hope that they can basically reinstate those records back because they should never have been vacated in the first place. So, but it just is what it is, though, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. With that, I'm out. Peace.